I'd like to explain the most common cause of these visual manifestations and how they're most likely not dangerous, but how you made a very, very good decision to come in today to be fully examined. Let's talk about the eye. This is the front of the eye, and this is the back of the eye. This is the retina. In front of the retina here lives a very stiff jelly called the vitreous humor. This vitreous humor is separated from the retina by a very thin membrane called the posterior hyaloid. Now, at some point in our lives, maybe in our 20s or 30s, some of us can start seeing floaters in our vision. Usually, these are just proteins coming off of this membrane that are floating around in the vitreous jelly. These are not dangerous at all, but can be very annoying. Don't worry, they won't take over your vision. Thankfully, they are not dangerous. A second, more common phenomenon can occur, which can also be very visually disturbing. This is called the liquefaction of the vitreous jelly. This happens at some point in the maturing process and is normal to everyone. As we mature, as we get older, this vitreous jelly, which is a stiff jelly, all of a sudden begins to liquefy. As it liquefies, this posterior membrane here comes forward, and that may be the manifestation of a floater inside your vision. In extremely rare cases, as this membrane comes forward, it can create a tear in the retina. And if that's not treated, this liquefying jelly can get underneath the tear and cause a retinal detachment. A retinal detachment, however, is a vision-threatening process and can lead to blindness if it's not treated. When we examine you carefully, we are looking exactly for this. We're looking for ripped retina and ripped retina leading to a retinal detachment. At this point, we will be leaning you back in the examination chair and examining you very thoroughly. We may even use an instrument to look in the very far parts of your eye to make sure we don't miss a retinal tear or a retinal detachment. This is a very rare event, however. If we find a retinal tear or a retinal detachment, we do have some very good treatment options. Please inform your doctor if you have a family history of retinal tears or retinal detachments, as this may have a hereditary component. Most floaters eventually move out of your vision. As the jelly liquefies, the floater will move to the bottom of the eye and out of your way. Unfortunately, in some people, that floater stays in the center of vision for a long time. It can be very annoying. Unfortunately, there are no good treatments for us to get rid of the floater. Some people may have for some time. These too usually diminish over time. Some people mention that they only see the flashes at nighttime or perhaps in an arc. Again, in a rare person, the flashes may be very persistent, but this is not a sign of additional danger to your eye. On rare occasions, as this vitreous jelly liquefies, it can traumatize a blood vessel and cause the blood vessel to bleed. With time, the body will absorb this blood and this annoyance will be out of your way. We ask you to be cautious for the next 4 to 6 weeks. I call this the danger zone. If trouble's going to happen, it's more likely to happen in this time. Sometimes, if we see you early in the process of vitreous separation, we'll see you automatically back in 4 to 6 weeks. However, if you should see more flashes, more dramatic floaters, or you just feel something isn't right, please don't wait for that appointment. Just give the receptionists a call, and they're trained to listen for these cues to have you come in sooner. If a tear or a retinal detachment doesn't occur in the 4 to 6 week time period, your chance of ever having a retinal detachment in that eye does diminish. We don't have hard and fast recommendations of activities to avoid while this separation is occurring. But as a general rule, I say you may want to avoid things that involve heavy jerking of the head, such as bungee jumping or kickboxing. Jogging, swimming, dancing, etc. are just fine. You can also use your eyes as much as you want, as this will have no adverse effects on your vision. If, however, you are found to have a tear or retinal detachment, we have very good treatment options. If you are found to have a tear, at that point we will most likely recommend lasering the area. Lasering the area essentially solders the area around the tear, so further liquid jelly cannot get under the retinal tear and cause a detachment. The laser treatment itself has minimal pain, if any, and it takes about less than 20 minutes. If there is pain, feel free to take the over-the-counter pain medication of your choice. However, the laser does involve a lot of bright lights. I'll put this lens on your eye. This will prevent you from blinking and will magnify for me tremendously what I need to see. Yes, there could be problems. We could accidentally hit the center of your eye with the laser and cause permanent blindness or decrease in vision. The likelihood of that is extremely low in well-trained and well-experienced hands. There's also, again, no absolute contraindications after the laser surgery. You can wash your hair, you can jump on an airplane, you can bend your head. If, however, you are found to have a retinal detachment, at that point we will call upon a retinologist who does surgery to evaluate you. You most likely will need treatment in the operating room to preserve your vision. Remember, vitreous separation is a one-time event. Once it's occurred, you're done. It will not recur. It's a normal change of maturing, and we can expect it to happen in the other eye. Don't hesitate to use your eyes, as again, as I mentioned, there is no harm in using them. Thank you for your attention. We hope this was very informative for you. The doctor will be in shortly to examine your eyes very thoroughly.